Extreme Rules 2021 is officially in the history books, and while the crowd may have left Columbus's nationwide arena discussing that bizarre finish between Roman Reigns and Finn Balor, it's worth remembering that each and every match delivered. For a B show, which was a filler event before Crown Jewel and Survivor Series, Extreme Rules delivered excellent matches from start to finish, a rarity for WWE pay-per-views. It's interesting that it's the smaller events that aren't stacked that usually deliver, and here's 6 things WWE subtly revealed during the show. Number 6. Flair vs. Bliss isn't over yet. Nearly 4 years since their last televised singles match, Charlotte Flair gave Alexa Bliss one of the best matches of her career, arguably better than their Survivor Series 2017 encounter. Since that last match, Bliss's character has changed dramatically, but her demonic character didn't affect the in-ring action, and we instead saw Bliss's ever-improving in-ring skills. The champion used her size and strength advantage during the match and also showed off her athleticism, hitting a double moonsault like her fiancé, AEW's Andrade El Idolo. Bliss held her own with her own brand of offense and came close to winning with a DDT, and the pair traded roll-up attempts before the Queen took control. In the end, Flair stood tall as expected and retained her Raw Women's title reign, as despite 2021 being the year of brief women's title reigns, it wouldn't have made sense for her to drop the gold just after winning the title at SummerSlam. What happened after the match was just as memorable as the in-ring action, as Charlotte ripped Lily apart, infuriating her beaten opponent. Bliss was literally frothing from the mouth after her loss in what would have been an impressive visual had WWE's cameras not focused on a tablet in her mouth that caused the reaction, ruining the illusion in a major botch. When Bliss tried to attack Charlotte, the demonic superstar was sent over a table at ringside and cried after picking up the pieces of the destroyed Lily. As Bliss continued crying and screaming as she left clutching the tattered remains of the doll, a "Thank you, Lily" chant erupted from the Columbus crowd, as WWE certainly used Bliss's hometown audience to generate a ton of heat for Flair. Lily's death could be the catalyst for another major character change for Bliss, and while she'll continue to be the Wyattized version of herself, expect an even darker side to Bliss ahead of her next shot at the Raw Women's Champion. Number 5. Bobby Lashley's Raw tenure may be over. Extreme Rules 2021 didn't see a WWE title match on the show, but instead a last-minute 6-man tag match was made, pitting The New Day against AJ Styles, Omos, and Bobby Lashley. The New Day were always expected to win, especially with how popular Big E's world title push has been so far, and fans expected AJ Styles, the smallest man on his team, to eat the pin. Instead, it was Lashley who lost for his team, once again being pinned by Big E after accidentally spearing Styles, and immediately after, fans worried that Lashley's run as one of Raw's top talents may be concluding after Extreme Rules. Backstage, Lashley was pacing back and forth and branded Big E a coward, challenging the WWE Champion to a title match on Raw, a match that the champ quickly accepted. Unless WWE wants to switch the title back to Lashley tonight's match should confirm Lashley's run on Raw is able to conclude, as he'll lose to Big E tonight and likely be drafted to SmackDown this Friday. Last night's 6-man tag helped elevate Big E's impressiveness even further as he led the New Day's comeback after a lengthy period of dominance by the heels. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston complemented the champion perfectly here, as did the red-hot crowd who were behind the entire New Day, but especially the WWE champion. Big E was also shown to be the smartest man in the match, as he avoided all the heels' trickery before pinning the same man he defeated to become WWE champion. Number 4. Jeff Hardy is still a star despite his booking. When WWE added Jeff Hardy to the US title match at Extreme Rules, fans were understandably conflicted. Sure, Jeff is a popular superstar and once outsold John Cena in merchandise sales, but it was only a few weeks back that he was chasing the 24/7 title, a championship he failed to actually win. Shortly after that, Hardy unsuccessfully challenged Damian Priest to the US title on Raw, making his entry into the pay-per-view title match, which he earned by beating Sheamus, all the more strange. Their triple threat match delivered as expected, but it was Jeff who stole the show, earning the crowd's support after a double swanton bomb on both Priest and Sheamus. The crowd's fervor for the charismatic enigma even led to the popular US champion Damian Priest getting a few boos, but the response was good when the Archer of Infamy retained his title. Few superstars on WWE's main roster have had more momentum this year than Priest, who had yet another fantastic showing last night. Post-match, Priest and Hardy had a show of respect, and this match proved why adding Jeff was the right call. With an incredible crowd reaction, the 44-year-old Jeff showed why he remains one of the most popular superstars of all time, and despite his shoddy booking in recent months, don't be surprised if Hardy gets more and more important storylines going forward. Number 3. The Usos are the unquestionable best team on SmackDown. Going into Extreme Rules, you wouldn't think that a SmackDown tag title match with no extreme stipulation would be the match of the night, but that's exactly what happened in this clash for the SmackDown tag team titles. WWE could have opened the pay-per-view with this match, as it more than exceeded any expectations fans had for the Usos and the Street Profits. A less than 100% Montez Ford, fresh off a fantastic SmackDown main event with Roman Reigns, put on an incredible effort, but it wasn't enough to topple the Usos and the momentum of the Bloodline. Having the champs retain was the right call, as this win was just as much about the Bloodline as the Usos, and the stable has been one of the WWE's best storylines in recent years. With another win under their belts, the Usos will continue to dominate the SmackDown tag division, and that's exactly what they should be doing. We can only hope that the Usos and Roman Reigns stay on SmackDown after the draft, and we don't have another situation like last year where the tag team champions switched brands, as the pairing of Jimmy and Jay belong on Team Blue. Number 2. Another history-making encounter is coming to Saudi Arabia. In the co-main event of Extreme Rules, SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch faced Bianca Belair in the first proper televised match for the man in well over a year. This match was interesting for more than just the in-ring action, as it was also a test on where Lynch stood as a heel, who has remained popular with audiences despite her villainous acts as of late. Last night, Becky was still popular, but the crowd were mostly behind the babyface Belair, with loud EST chants filling the nationwide arena. This crowd reaction shows both the champion and challenger are on a different level to most women on WWE's roster, and it's a shame that the match didn't have a stipulation to enhance things even more. Even as a straight singles match, the pair meshed together perfectly to create an incredible story, as Lynch did all she could as the heel veteran to get the advantage over her younger challenger. Belair's natural athletic prowess always had an answer for the man's tactics, as she didn't allow Lynch to escape with the win. Countering the disarm her into the KOD, Belair's second women's title win was practically guaranteed, until Sasha Banks made her return, attacking Belair and ending the match with a DQ. A DQ finish, especially one at a so-called extreme event, could have been annoying, but this was the right decision for this match. Banks' return further spices up the issue between Lynch and Belair, and both competitors remain looking strong. Becky looked strong in the ring, but her Twitter game needs some work, as after the match she tweeted, "There is no such thing as a terrible win, there is only winning." This tweet was quickly deleted by the man, presumably because she did not win the match. As per WWE rules, Banks' attack on Belair means the EST won by DQ, even if the man retained her title. Regardless of technicalities, the sentiment remains, as Lynch is still a champion and the heel doesn't care how she keeps the gold. Banks' return was unquestionably the most significant part of the match, and on Twitter, her ex-tag partner and rival Bayley chimed in about the boss, saying, "Damn, she's annoying." The action was good enough for the match to be fondly remembered before the run-in, and the implications of the boss's return are massive. If Survivor Series will once again see the SmackDown Women's Champion face the Raw Women's Champion, then the inevitable triple threat match between these three will likely take place at Crown Jewel instead, in the first women's triple threat match in the history of the country. As for who'd win that match, it's impossible to say, but we're excited to see what role Banks will play now that she's back on TV. Number 1. Extreme Rules delivered but ended on a dud. Heading into Extreme Rules, Roman Reigns was shy of 400 days as Universal Champion, in what many consider to be the greatest Universal title tenure ever. Sure, having just one Extreme Rules match at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view was an odd call, but Reigns and Balor were the best picks for the sole stipulation on the night. Battering each other relentlessly for almost 20 minutes, the pair had a great match, with the Demon seemingly always one step ahead. Fighting near the crowd where Reigns wisely masked up, the pair had a couple of table spots before things turned sour for the head of the table. Kicking out of a spear, Balor low-blowed the champion, and had it not been for the Usos, the Irishman would probably be Universal Champion right now. When the tag champs were dispatched of by the Demon, Balor ate a spear through the barricade in an impressive, if not cliché spot, but what happened next was something nobody predicted. The Demon's heartbeat echoed around the entire arena, giving him life, and when the lights turned red, Balor rose and dominated the usually dominant Universal Champion. All of this happened while Balor's theme played, but as he set up for the coup de grace, the top rope broke, giving the champ a much-needed respite before spearing Balor for the win. The hokey finish only took away from the match, which had been a war until that point, and it was a definite match of the night candidate before that finish. As to why WWE booked this finish, we can only think that the company had run out of ideas, and this finish, a freak accident with the ring rope, was their way to protect both men. If that is the case, we can only hope that this leads to another storyline for Balor, as they need to have something impressive for the Irish superstar after this dud of an evening. WWE Extreme Rules 2021 was a great night that more than delivered up until the very final moments, and this finish has been compared to the Seth Rollins vs. Bray Wyatt Hell in a Cell 2019 match in terms of disappointing endings. Sure, the likes of Kane and The Undertaker may have been incredible in the Attitude Era, but with a much more critical crowd, it's clear that WWE does not book supernatural characters well anymore, and Extreme Rules was a testament to that. So that was Extreme Rules 2021, a show that featured some great wrestling and a massive return by Sasha Banks, but wasn't all that extreme. If your entire show is sold as the one night WWE goes extreme, you really should have more than one extreme match, especially on your third pay-per-view back with a full crowd. WWE either tends to go overboard with Hell in a Cell matches, with 3 used on the same pay-per-view, or underdeliver on the extreme element in an event that was advertised as such. And despite more than delivering in terms of incredible matches, one has to wonder if the fans felt cheated from Extreme Rules' blatant false advertising. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.